Hello gainers, I'm Ralphie and welcome to my channel called Fitter Philosophy. It's a beautiful day, I'm out and about and I'm doing stuff because life ain't no dress rehearsal. Gotta seize the day, make the best of it as we will, and the same applies to life because our life is full of days. And if you don't act, if we don't take responsibility for ourselves, our days are numbered, shorter than we would probably like. Which brings me to the subject of my conversation. But before I go any further, welcome one and all to Fitter Philosophy. I'm Ralphie, the host of this channel. And this is a channel about Stoic philosophism. I'll start that one again. About Stoic philosophy. Philosophism. That's it, I'll do. And just sharing the practicality of life's experience in such a way that the philosophy is practically based rather than academic and theoretical, because you can find that elsewhere. And my subject is food, more importantly nutrition. In my last video I talked about the other name for dementia, stroke, Alzheimer's. They're slightly different, but they're very, very similar. And it's basically type 3 diabetes, which of course suggests that the illness is related to lifestyle and eating patterns, and related to the modern life of the supermarket trawl, where we browse round the shelves of brightly coloured packets and special offers, and we buy not according to what is the most nutritious and what is good for us, but we buy for convenience, for entertainment, for what we perceive as value. And I'm going to encourage you to find yourself a supermarket. It won't be difficult. There's plenty of them. They're kind of overtaking the kind of older shops which were more specialised, like greengrocers, good example. Butchers, another good example. Shops that specialised in their product and generally presented it fresher and, importantly, more local produce. But you now have a situation where in supermarkets, food can literally travel around the world in its processing cycle before it even reaches you. Your fresh fruit can be flown by plane from Africa and be around for weeks before you even see it in the shelf. Chicken, for example, may be bred in the USA and then sent to China to be chemically processed to be sent back to the USA. There are so many permutations, and we need to be cynical, because what we consume is what we are. The less quality that we consume, inevitably, not just physiologically but psychologically, we're going to be slightly inferior versions of the people we used to be due to our eating habits and patterns. And I would suggest to you that if you actually get pen and paper and sit down and rearrange your whole food protocol or nutritional protocol, focusing on the three most important components being protein, fats and carbohydrates, reordered, because you need to cut down probably most likely on carbohydrates. It is the excessive consumption of processed carbohydrates, particularly in the form of sugar, which are generating our vulnerabilities towards diabetes, type A, type B, type C, heart disease. It's what we eat that clogs our arteries. And no, it's not butter and it's not bacon and it's not the old-fashioned stuff. It's your processed vegetable oils which undergo considerable chemical processing before they even reach the shelves. It's your margarine with the chemical processing that goes on in the production of that. And I can tell you right now, this is an opinion, it's got to be an opinion, it only can be an opinion, otherwise I get into big trouble. So much of the education we get from doctors is in fact misleading. The idea that a healthy diet is processed foods in the form of margarine, soups, tin soups, in which a lot of chemicals are involved, is just nonsense. It's your old-fashioned foods, your raw foods, your particularly organic foods, which they've still got pesticides in them, but at least they are not as potentially toxic as the macro pesticides, herbicides, fungicides that are used on crops like soy. Very destructive to the environment. Ask the environmentalists, they'll tell you. Wheat, another good one, and of course our old favourite, sugar. Start with sugar, just cut down on sugar. You'll start to feel better, your head will start to feel clearer. Eat when you're hungry. Don't forget your intermittent fasting. I'm giving you a lot of information here in this short video. I'm going to narrow it down in future videos, focus on a few elements, but the time to start this is now. Go out in the street and look at people who are older than you and look at the state of them, whether they be morbidly obese or whether they be greying prematurely due to environmental stress caused by mainstream media, due to their perennial diet of cake and biscuits and breakfast cereal, another class. I mean, breakfast cereal basically are biscuits. They're sugar and grain. So they're biscuits in another form, disguised as something else, as your first meal of the day. Big mistake. Cut it out. Porridge, that's a good start. I've said enough for the moment. If you're alive, you'll find yourself becoming more alarmed at the way your life's controlled for you by outside agencies. And it's a good thing to be. You want to look around and just pity the people who are just dumbly, blindly soldiering on, oblivious to everything and anything, because they're not so much living, they're more existing, and it's a tragedy to see it, but what can we do? We all have to take responsibility for our own lives. Enjoy the view.